The Vampire Diaries may have ended years ago, but the behind-the-scenes drama is only now being exposed, and it's more shocking than fans could have ever imagined. From Nina Dobrev fighting for equal pay while carrying the weight of the show, to Kat Graham revealing the racism she endured, and Ian Somerhalder walking away from TV altogether because of a toxic fandom, this once-beloved supernatural series had a dark side nobody saw coming. Today, we're diving deep into the truth behind the cameras, the battles the cast faced, and the secrets the producers never wanted you to know. When The Vampire Diaries first hit screens in 2009, Nina Dobrev instantly became the heart of the series. Playing both Elena Gilbert and her doppelganger Catherine Pierce, Nina carried storylines that required double the work. She filmed more scenes, memorized more lines, and kept fans hooked with her ability to bring multiple characters to life. But as glamorous as her role seemed, the reality was far less rewarding behind the scenes. According to the new tell-all book I Was Feeling Epic, Nina was one of the lowest-paid series regulars during the first seasons. Despite doing the work of two actors, she wasn't compensated equally to her male co-stars Ian Somerhalder and Paul Wesley. When it came time to renegotiate her contract, Nina pushed for fair treatment, demanding pay that reflected her workload. But the studio resisted, refusing to put her on the same level as the men. For Nina, it wasn't just about money. She later admitted that it was about respect, about being valued for the immense weight she carried on the show. Fans now argue that Nina didn't just deserve equal pay, she deserved more than anyone else, because without Elena and Catherine, The Vampire Diaries would never have been the phenomenon it became. When Nina left the series after season 6, fans immediately speculated it was due to her breakup with co-star Ian Somerhalder. The two had dated publicly from 2010 to 2013, and after their split, Ian went on to marry actress Nikki Reed not long after. With so much tension in their real-life dynamic, many believed Nina's exit was fueled by heartbreak. But the truth is much more complicated. Nina herself has consistently denied that her departure had anything to do with Ian. Instead, insiders revealed that the breaking point came down to negotiations. When producers offered her less money to return for season 8 than she had made as a series regular, Nina stood her ground. She was willing to return, but only if she was compensated fairly. The studio refused, and she decided to walk away. It wasn't until the series finale that producers finally agreed to her terms, paying her appropriately for a one-episode appearance. This confirmed what fans had suspected for years: Nina wanted to return, but she refused to accept anything less than respect for the work she had put in. While Nina battled for equal pay, Kat Graham, who played the fan favorite witch Bonnie Bennett, revealed another layer of systemic issues within the show. In the book, Kat opened up about how her experience on The Vampire Diaries was shaped by racism, both in how her character was written and in the culture on set. Bonnie often found herself in sacrificial storylines, constantly using her powers to save others, but rarely being allowed to explore her own happiness, relationships, or growth. Graham revealed that writers leaned heavily into colorblind storytelling, which ignored the reality of having a black actress in such a central role. Showrunner Julie Plec later admitted they failed to properly address these issues during the show's run. Fans have long criticized how Bonnie was sidelined, pointing out that she rarely got to keep love interests, and her storylines often revolved around protecting Elena. Now, with Kat's candid reflections, those suspicions have been confirmed, highlighting how even in hit shows, racial bias shaped character development and opportunities. On the surface, Ian Somerhalder appeared to be thriving as Damon Salvatore, the brooding vampire that fans adored. But behind closed doors, Ian struggled with something far less glamorous: the toxicity of the fandom itself. While Ian was grateful for the show's success, he later admitted that the darker side of fan culture took a heavy toll. Some fans became obsessive, especially those who shipped Damon and Elena's romance. They blurred the lines between fiction and reality, lashing out online and creating what Ian called cancer to society. The hostility, he explained, was so aggressive that it made him lose his passion for acting altogether. By the time The Vampire Diaries ended, Ian had no desire to continue in television. He described the fandom's toxicity as so destructive that it overshadowed the joy of performing. It's heartbreaking to think that what was meant to be a creative outlet and a career highlight turned into the reason he stepped away from acting. Another shocking revelation came from Candace King, who played Caroline Forbes. During season 7, Candace was pregnant in real life, and her pregnancy was written into the show's storyline. But when it came time to film birth scenes, Candace refused. She explained that she feared the stress of acting out childbirth could trigger early labor, pointing to a real-life example where another actress allegedly went into premature labor after filming a similar scene. Candace drew a firm line, demanding that the producers use her stand-in instead. While this created challenges for the crew, Candace stood by her decision, saying her health and her baby's safety mattered more than a perfect scene. Fans praised her for speaking out, and her honesty shed light on the pressures actresses face when their real lives collide with the demands of television. Taken together, these revelations paint a very different picture of the Vampire Diaries than the one fans saw on screen. While the show delivered epic romances, supernatural battles, and unforgettable cliffhangers, the reality behind the scenes was marked by sexism, racism, toxic fan culture, and impossible demands on its cast. Nina Dobrev was overworked and underpaid despite being the backbone of the series. Kat Graham endured years of racial bias in how her character was written. Ian Somerhalder was driven away from acting altogether by a fandom that turned hostile. And Candace King had to fight for her own health during one of the most vulnerable times in her life. What makes this all the more fascinating is that the Vampire Diaries wasn't some small show struggling for recognition. It was one of the CW's biggest hits, a pop culture powerhouse that defined an entire era of television. And yet, the darker truths of its production remind us that even the most successful projects can be built on struggles and sacrifices that fans never see. Today, the show's legacy continues to spark debate. Fans argue over whether Nina should have been paid more, whether Bonnie deserved better storylines, and whether the toxic fandom destroyed what could have been a longer run for Ian. These conversations prove that the Vampire Diaries isn't just remembered for its love triangles and supernatural twists, it's remembered for the lessons it taught about respect, representation, and the price of fame. The Vampire Diaries may have ended years ago, but the conversations surrounding the show remain as fiery as ever. Fans often wonder, did Nina Dobrev deserve a bigger paycheck for carrying double the workload? After all, playing both Elena Gilbert and Catherine Pierce meant she wasn't just balancing two characters, but two entirely different personalities, story arcs, and emotional depths. Many argue that level of effort should have come with higher compensation. Then there's Kat Graham, who brought Bonnie Bennett to life. Despite being one of the most powerful witches in the TVD universe, Bonnie was repeatedly sidelined, with storylines that left fans frustrated. Kat herself admitted she wanted more meaningful plots for her character, and many agree she deserved far better recognition for her talent, hard work, and commitment. For years, Bonnie carried emotional weight, sacrificed everything for her friends, and yet rarely got the spotlight she deserved, a frustration both the actress and fans have voiced time and time again. And let's not forget Ian Somerhalder, who has openly spoken out about the darker side of fandom culture. While passionate fans helped make the Vampire Diaries a global success, the toxicity that came with shipping wars, personal attacks, and constant pressure on the cast sometimes crossed dangerous lines. It's a reminder that while fandom can be beautiful, it can also become overwhelming when boundaries are ignored. So, what do you think? Should Nina have been paid more? Did Kat deserve better? Was Ian right about toxic fandoms? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear your take. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss our latest breakdowns of Hollywood's untold stories. Your support keeps these conversations going.